Hello friends, let's discuss today's set of questions on current affairs. The first one relates to military exercise. The 18th edition of the India-US joint training exercise named Yudh Abhyas is scheduled to be conducted in Uttarakhand in a place called Auli. In Uttarakhand. Auli in Uttarakhand. This is about 100 kilometers from the line of actual control, LAC, which is more or less de facto, if it's not de jure, it's a de facto boundary line between India and China. So the line of actual control. Now, India and US regularly conduct Yudh Abhyas, and so you can see this is the 18th edition. We also have another exercise called named Vajra Prahar. So you could look at this. Another US-India training military exercise is Vajra Prahar. Fair? And some of those, instead of telling you the names of some other military exercises, which I often do across classes, I would like you to remember one thing, note rather than remember, is that here the term Indo-US relates to India and the United States. But if we are looking at the term Indo-China, what could this mean? Usually we would think Indo-China would relate to things between India and China. Well, the truth is quite far different. Indo-China is a region in East Asia. Now we have India, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos and Vietnam, and then the Pacific Ocean. So three countries of Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia once till about 1960s formed the British Empire, formed the French Empire. These three were ruled by French government, that is they were colonies of France. So this region was called Indochina by France. Remember, Indochina relates to three countries, the countries of Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam. Okay, it is not what we normally would think Indochina is about India and China. No. So, slightly different stuff here. Okay, to repeat, Indochina relates to the three countries of the region encompassing three countries of Vietnam, Laos, Laos and Cambodia. Fair? I hope you get that. So from here we could look at the next one. Who won the Google Doodle India contest? That's the boy from Calcutta. This is the doodle he drew. India on the center stage. You see this. This is a picture that that showcases the old India and with the emerging India. You see this yoga, the traditional stuff, but we are good together. We are taking everything together on the path to the future. So, sustainability, tradition, and modernity have all come together here. Technology, sustainability, modernity, and the past have all come together. Our heritage is reflected in this. You see the pestle and all that. You see this, So, doodles are a very good way of celebrating. For Google, it's a very good way of celebrating things. Like, if there is a birthday of Alexander Fleming, they have a doodle representing his work. So if we ever had, let's say, we landed on the moon on 20th July, some say 21st July, depending on what part of the world you are, on 20th July 1969. So around that time, there is this doodle, celebrating our humankind's feat, on the moon. And so, there are a lot of things that the doodles celebrate. So it's a pretty simple one actually. Film director and writer Carlos Saura will be conferred with the Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award 2022 at the upcoming 53rd edition of the International Film Festival of India in Goa. The International Film Festival of India is always held in Goa. It's a regular, venue. Saura is from, he is, it's mentioned there. Now I want you to know something, something that Carlos Saura has made a lot of films, and chief among them would be Carmen. You could write this, Carmen. This is multi-award winning film, Carmen. Then there is this word called the film called Tango, which is also a kind of dance. Okay, so Carmen, Tango. Then three of his films have been ever nominated in the best foreign feature film category at the Oscars. Foreign feature film, best foreign feature film category. Okay, now I need you to understand that what we send is an entry. Like our countries, every year we send a film to the Oscars to be, with the hope that it would win the prize in the best foreign feature film category. What we send is an entry, and five of these entries are selected to be nominated, one of which is eventually declared the winner. So we send an entry. Okay, the title we send is an entry. Then of these, five are rated the best, selected, and these five are called nominations, and one of them is chosen to be the winner. Now I want you to understand that Sora has had the honor of three of his films being nominated in the best foreign feature film category. Yeah, that's a great honor, my friends. That's a great honor. Now, Carlos, remember, typically Carlos is a Spanish name. Of course, it's also a Portuguese name, but usually it's a Spanish name. Anything related to Spain would be called Hispanic. It should be called Hispanic. Remember this. Anything related to Spain or the language, Spanish language is Hispanic. Okay. Now, there is something beyond this that we could learn about. This is Satyajit Ray, master filmmaker of India. He received every possible kind of award, and two awards I mention came in the same year. Just before his death, Satyajit Ray received the honorary lifetime Oscars, honorary lifetime achievement award, lifetime achievement award, achievement Oscar, lifetime achievement Oscar, and the same year he received the Bharat Ratna. Bharat Ratna. He received the honorary Oscar first, then received the Bharat Ratna. Of course, unfortunately, because of ill health, he could not, go in person to receive the Oscar. But the great master has been honored in all parts of the world. Yeah. If you have to watch just one of his films, just one, I wouldn't suggest the Apu trilogy, Pater Panchali and all. I would suggest Shatranj Ke Khiladi. Shatranj Ke Khiladi. Very good film. You will thoroughly enjoy it. It shows the decadence of the Nawabs while India was burning, while ordinary people were living in grinding poverty, dire straits they were. The Nawabs were spending the time playing chess, in utter decadence. Yeah. All around them, the walls were crumbling, but they were oblivious to, the destruction of life around them. Identify the correct statements about the 27th edition of the World Population Prospects Report 2022 of the United Nations. Now, there is something about, when I mentioned this, the UN, someone said, yeah, United Nations organization. No. There is no word called organizations. Organization when you discuss the name UN. Remember, it's not UNO. United Nations organization नाम की कोई चीज नहीं है, सिर्फ United Nations है. Okay, it's the UN. Usually it's used. That's the right term. That's the right term. Usually you said that called the UNO, but go with the UN always. So this is a little about the population report, and this next year. Sometime next year, we'll become the world's most populous nation, and we recently have had the 8th billion person born on this planet. I mean, not 8 billion born on the planet, 8th billion living person. Today, there are 8 billion people, 800 crore people on this planet, my friends. That's a huge number, my friends. Yeah, it took us thousands and thousands of years to come to 100 crores, but from 100 crores to 800 crores, it took us about less than 70 years. That's a large, yeah, pretty fast growth. All these things are there, but last one is there. The last point talks about the global population growth has fallen below 1% for the first time. This decrease has not been uniform across the world. It's moved, it's different for different, it's been different for different population groups in different parts of the world. Now I'll tell you a few more things concerning this particular report, population prospects report. I want you to write a bit about this population project, prospects report. The number one thing you could write is the TFR, the total fertility rate. TFR, you could write this TFR. What is TFR? The number of births given by a woman, number of children born to a woman over a lifetime. You could write this. Total fertility rate dash number of children born to a woman, number of children born to a woman over lifetime, over lifetime. Over lifetime. What is it? You go currently, you write dash, currently 2.3. Of course, this is an average. 2.3 births is an average. You can't have a 2.3 baby, isn't it? So 2.3 births per woman. Now it is likely to come down to 2.1 by 2050. You could write this dash may decrease to, or rather will decrease to, not may, will decrease to 2.1 by 2050. So fewer children will be born. Next, life expectancy at birth, life expectancy at birth dash for women 73.4, no, it's a little more than that, 73.8 years, 73.8 years, men 68.4 years. For men it's low, almost 5 years difference, more than 5 years. So next, COVID reduced, next point, COVID reduced life expectancy. COVID reduced life expectancy from 72.8 years in 2019 to 71 years in 2021. Yes, it's right. When I went through the report, I was like shocked to know this. Trust me, I was deeply shocked. So in just 2 years, global life expectancy average, these men and women, it has gone down by 2 years. That has been the devastating, such has been the devastating impact of COVID, So next, you could also write population of 61 countries. Yes, I remember this. Population of 61 countries is projected to decrease by 1% or more. Why 1% or more between today is 2022 and 2050 Why? Dash, you write dash, owing to, I'm going slow so that you could write, owing to sustained low levels of fertility, sustained low level of fertility, low level of fertility, I'm writing keywords only, low level of fertility, and in some cases, comma, elevated, higher, you could write higher rates of emigration, so people moving out, higher rates of emigration. We could write one more point. Since I mentioned emigration, I remember this, now I recall that, right, next point. For 10 nations, comma, the estimated net flow of migrants, exceeded 10 lakh between 2010 and 2021. In 2021. Next, full stop. Oh, you want some data? Yeah, you could write dash India. So how many people have left India, have emigrated out of India? 3.5 million. So you could write 35 lakhs. 3.5 million. Instead of million, you could write lakh. 35 lakh. 1 million is 10 lakh. 35 lakhs. Pakistan, $1.65 crore. Yes, it's true. 1.65 crore. People don't see a better quality of life coming up. So people leave for multiple reasons: better opportunities, better quality of life, safety. People who have made money the illegal way, they also want to move out because they fear, that the government could take back their wealth. So there is increased scrutiny in India, as of wealth earned. There are multiple reasons why Indians would leave. But when it comes to Pakistanis, of course, you would know that there is almost no great economic opportunity for people back home in Pakistan. Second, safety is a major issue. Increased incidence of terrorism, great deal of political instability, climate change, multiple factors, my friends. Okay, so in matter of 10 years, Pakistan has lost 1.65 crore people. Not that the Pakistanis would miss these people, because Pakistan is already the 5th most populated country in the world. Yeah, crazy. India's CPI, Consumer Price Index, cooled down to 6.77% in October, down from a little under 7.5%. Identify the correct statements regarding CPI inflation in India. Okay, this is all about CPI here, that you would find, it stands for so and so. It tracks the changes in retail prices of goods and services households consume. Now, for the second point, I can give you some example what households consume. What does the basket of CPI commodities have? What does the basket of goods and services in CPI have? Electricity, you could write this: electricity, medical expenses or medical care, comma, education, food, clothing, transportation. Yeah. Now all these I have given a few examples. All these are given weightages. And a particular base year is taken. Base year is a year in the past. Now it's about 2015 kind of thing. Yeah. So the base year is taken, and that base year 2012. So that base year on the basis here, what has been the change in pricing? That is that is what CPI looks at. Yeah. So it's always calculated as a percentage, always calculated as a percentage. In a simple sense, consumer price index measures cost of living, okay. So things are pretty bad right now. Globally they are bad. So in India they're equally bad. Yeah. So where does the data come from? You may wonder, where does the government collect this data? The government collects this data, you could write this, from 1181 rural markets, 1181 rural markets, and 1114, I am giving the exact number, urban markets in 310 towns and cities. Okay, my handwriting is terrible, I know. So the data to calculate CPI comes from 1181 rural markets and 1114 urban markets that are spread across 310 towns and cities. Yeah. So basically things are bad. So in a very simple sense, you can say that over last year, very commonsensical way. Okay, if it's 6.77%, you can say that last year, exactly 1 year back, whatever was, you know, the price level, over that there has been almost a 7% increase in prices. I'm giving you a simple understanding. It's not so simple anyway. Yeah. Reliance Industries recently backed a 1424 crore contract, 1424 crore contract to develop India's first multimodal logistics park in Tamil Nadu. Now, you could write this. India is developing 35 multimodal logistic parks. Multimodal logistics park. Okay. Now you may wonder what is multimodal. So you could write multimodal, underline that, right? Transportation of goods by a single contractor but with at least two different modes of transportation. With at least two different modes of transportation. So they could use railways and roadways. They could use waterways and roadways, whatever. Yeah. So the idea is to connect, give last mile connectivity to different special economic zones and the ports, you know, markets, all that stuff. Yeah. Which Indian Olympic medalists were among the 10 eminent sports persons elected as members of the Athletes Commission of the Indian Olympic Association? ABCD, yeah. Mary Kom, PV Sindhu, Mirabai Chanu, Gagan Narang. I want you to write a bit about Miss MC Mary Kom. Padma Vibhushan 2020. Padma Vibhushan 2020. Next, only boxer, male or female, only boxer to win 8 world championship medals. 8 world championship medals. Next, only female boxer to win 6 world amateur championships. 6 world amateur championships. That's a lot, my friends. Yeah, it's a world record. Next, right, Gagan Narang. I will not tell you about all, just Gagan Narang. We often have been discussing names like Neeraj Chopra and PV Sindhu. So let's look at the names that we usually don't discuss. Gagan Narang, what is it? Bronze medal winner, bronze medal shooter, bronze medal winning shooter, bronze medal winning shooter at 2012 Summer Olympic Games. 2012 Summer Olympic Games. That was 2012 would be London. Yeah, London. 2012 Summer Olympic Games. He received the 2010 Khel Ratna Award. Khel Ratna Award. Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. India's highest sporting award for individual excellence. Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award 2010. 2010. Yes, one name we should know about is Karnam Malleshwari. Karnam Malleshwari. You could write this. Karnam Malleshwari. First Indian woman medal winner. First Indian woman medal winner at Olympic Games. At Olympic Games. Wrestling bronze. Oh, I'm so sorry. The great Karnam Malleshwari. I think I misattributed her to. I misattributed the sport to her. She was a great weightlifter. Bronze at 2000 Summer Olympic Games. That was, I think, Sydney. 2000 Summer Olympic Games. Summer Olympic Games. Natasha Pierre Musser was recently elected the first female president of Slovenia. This is Slovenia. You can see it here. Yeah. You see this, all these were the members of the previous, Yugoslavia. This is all Yugoslavia. This country was Yugoslavia. Sorry. All this was Yugoslavia. This is Yugoslavia. And you need to understand something, that the country of Yugoslavia broke up and the constituent states became separate countries. Slovenia was the first, republic, first province in Yugoslavia to break away. This is a human rights activist, and she's recently been elected female president. But it's a parliamentary democracy, so it's a country where the prime minister is head of the government, while the head of the state is a president. So you could write about Slovenia. You can see the capital here, Ljubljana. This is the capital, Ljubljana. Anyway. This is the capital, Ljubljana. Prime Minister is PM Robert Golob. Currency euro. Yeah, euro. Currency is euro. Next, Croatia. See this country in yellow here. Let me clear this. See, this is Croatia. You see these islands here. If you go look at a detailed map of Croatia, you'll find that these islands here are all, these islands are called Dalmatia. The islands are called Dalmatia. And this region, Dalmatia, has given birth to the dog breed Dalmatian. You find spots on the dog. The white dog with black spots, or some people would say it is actually black dog with white, with white patches. You never know what is it actually. It's actually a white dog with I know it's actually a white dog with black patches. So Croatia's capital is Zagreb. This is a capital. Okay, and its prime minister is Peter Fiala. That's the prime minister. And the currency is kuna. Kuna, Kuna, kuna. I think I made an error. I took it to Czech Republic. Yeah, because I jumbled things in my mind, I think. The currency I got right. Yeah, the pen I needed. The name of the prime minister is, it's Croatian. No? Croatia is Andrej Plenković. Andrej Plenković. Yeah, Andrej Plenković. Czech Republic. This is Czech Republic. This was all one country, Czechoslovakia. This is the country that was invaded by Adolf Hitler in 1939. That set off the Second World War. Okay. Czech Republic, you can see the capital is Prague. And Petr Fiala, Prime Minister. And the currency is koruna. Koruna. Yeah. Hungary, I think we discussed in the recent past, but anyway, the prime minister here is, that is the capital, Budapest. You can see the capital, Budapest. And the prime minister is Viktor Orban, the rebel in the UAE, in the European Union, Viktor Orban. And the currency is forint. Forint. Italy we discussed recently, so yeah. The world's highest polling station in Tashigang recorded 100% voter turnout in the recently conducted elections. It's in Himachal Pradesh. This is said to be, this is on the border with China, LAC, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, China claims this as its own. You should know this. Okay, but of course it's ours. Himachal Pradesh, the chief minister is Jairam Thakur. Let's just look at simple things now. Jairam Thakur, and it has two capitals. One is Shimla, the other is Dharamshala. Dharamshala. Okay, let's not discuss capitals. Sikkim, Prem Singh Tamang. Prem Singh Tamang, T-A-M-A-N-G. Ladakh, Lieutenant Governor is Radha Krishna Mathur. Jammu and Kashmir, I think it's Manoj Sinha. Mizoram, Zoram Thanga is the chief minister. Zoram Thanga. Beautiful temple. Indian Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar and Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen met recently. In this context, which are the following? Okay, all of them. See, this is Cambodia. I was talking about, I did not even remember that, this map was there. This was Indochina. Okay, Indochina. Let me clear this and draw a but simple thing. This is Indochina. This was the French Empire. Okay, Cambodia is said to be named after a Brahmin prince named Kamboja. Okay, And you know, this is a temple dedicated to Bhagwan Vishnu. Bhagwan Vishnu. This Angkor Wat, this temple is called, I'll write it here, Angkor Wat is the name of the temple. This was built between 1115 to 1145 by a guy called, by the Khmer king. Khmer is a main ethnic group in Cambodia. Khmer king Suryavarman the second. Suryavarman the second. Okay. This was not like this when the French discovered it. It was in shambles, weeds, everything. I mean, a lot of these buildings were broken and everything. The French Archaeological Association organization, they rebuilt some of this. Think about it. When it would have been built about 900 years back, when life was very different, it was all a jungle. What it would have been like? Yeah, it's dedicated to Bhagwan Vishnu. The tales of Mahabharata could be found on the temple walls, chiseled, sculpted. Yeah. So you will also find this in this picture in this film called Tomb Raider, starring Angelina Jolie. Hun Sen is the Prime Minister of Cambodia. He has been in power since 1985. Can you believe that? He is more or less a dictator. Yeah. It's a constitutional monarchy. There is a Raja here called Norodom Sihamoni, but he is the power center. Maybe in the next class I'll tell you the story of Cambodia's Khmer Rouge. Yes, I will definitely tell you this story. I'll bring this question back. Khmer Rouge was a terrorist organization, communist terrorist organization, which led to the deaths of thousands, not thousands, about 32 lakh people in this country in 4 years. I'll tell you that story. Yeah. Identify the correct statements about the 41st Indian International Trade Fair held recently. All of them, all of these are right. The trade fair's theme was vocal for local and local to global. That's what the Prime Minister of India has been saying. Okay, so there's hardly anything for me to discuss here, considering that everything's already mentioned. Janjatiya Gaurav Divas is observed on November 15th every year to mark the birth anniversary of the great Birsa Munda. Birsa Munda belonged, of course, he belonged to the Munda tribe in Jharkhand. He led the Munda rebellion against land encroachment and land policies of the British government. He also rebelled against the Christian missionaries. So Birsa Munda's name is immortalized, of course, in the India's freedom struggle. His name is also the name of the Ranchi International Airport. The Ranchi International Airport is named after Birsa Munda. Birsa Munda. Yeah. This is in Jharkhand. Yeah. Ranchi is the capital of Jharkhand. November 15th is also the year, is also the day in 2000 when Jharkhand was created. Yes, this is Jharkhand Statehood Day. Yeah. Which country created history by winning their second T20 World Cup men's title? England. Write this. T20 World Cup. 2022 T20 World Cup. Right? Host. Simply write this. Host Australia. Host dash Australia. Next. Winner England. England. Next. Runner up Pakistan. Next. Player of the series. Player of the series. Sam Curran, Curran, of England. He took a record number of wickets. He did a great all-rounder job actually. Sam Curran. Next, most wickets. Most wickets. Most wickets. Vanindu Hasaranga. Sri Lanka. Vanindu Hasaranga, Sri Lanka. Next. Most runs. Most runs. Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli. I think that should be fine. Next, right. 2024 World Cup venues. T20 World Cup venues. 2024. West Indies and US. Yes, two countries. West Indies and US. 2026 Sri Lanka and India. India. That should be good. All that you should know is here. Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently dedicated the Ramagundam Fertilizers and Chemicals Corporation Limited to the nation. This is in Telangana, my state Telangana, in which the government of Telangana has 11% equity stake. But you could write this: RFCL joint venture between 1. National Fertilizers Limited, National Fertilizers Limited, National Fertilizers Limited, comma, Engineers India Limited, Engineers India Limited, and one is NFL, EIL, Engineers India Limited, and Fertilizers Corporation of India, Fertilizer Corporation of India Limited, Fertilizer Corporation of India Limited, FCIL. Okay. Next. What is the name of India's first privately developed and launched rocket? In fact, it's just been launched already, because this is a particular period in the past. The name of the rocket was Vikram S. So why don't you write this? Subheading: India's first private rocket launch. India's first private rocket launch. India's first private rocket launch. Okay, underline that. 1. Launched by Skyroot Aerospace. Skyroot Aerospace, that's the name of the company. Skyroot Aerospace dash, right, dash, Skyroot Aerospace dash, winner of 2020 National Startup Awards. Startup Award. Winner of 2020 National Startup Award. Next. Founded by Skyroot Aerospace, that is. Founded by Pawan Kumar Chandana. Pawan Kumar Chandana and Nag Bharat Deka. No, not Deka, Dhaka. Nag Bharat Dhaka. DAKA. Next, see, this guy is the CEO and the CTO, and this guy is the Chief Operating Officer. Pawan is the Chief Technology Officer and the Chief Executive Officer, while Bharat is the Chief Operating Officer. Next, launched Vikram 1 rocket. Vikram 1 rocket dash named after Vikram Sarabhai, comma, father of India's space program. Next, on board, next point, on board Vikram 1 rocket, or you could simply write Vikram 1 rocket was fitted with Raman engine named after Chandrasekhara Venkataraman, C.V. Raman. Chandrasekhara Venkataraman, comma, 1930 Nobel Physics Laureate, 1930 Nobel Physics Laureate, Laureate, Laureate. Okay, Laureate. So you can look at something more here. I want you to write this also. ISRO, just write this. Rocket was launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center. At Sriharikota. Okay, at Sriharikota. Next, I think that should be fine now. Satish Dhawan is a former chairperson of ISRO, my friends. Former chairperson of ISRO, who claimed his first Formula 1 victory after winning the 2020 Sao Paulo Grand Prix at Interlagos. George Russell of Mercedes. He's a British guy. George Russell, British. And the second place went to Lewis Hamilton, third to Carlos Sainz. 2, 3, 4 are mentioned in the same order, my friends. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Basically, they finished 1, 2, 3 on the podium. Okay, this guy belongs to Spain, UK. Both of them belong to UK. Okay, but the 2022 Formula 1 World Championship has been won by Max Verstappen. Of Netherlands. Okay, he drives for Red Bull team, Red Bull Racing, Red Bull. In fact, he is also the 2021 winner, so he defended the title. Chala. Which Nobel laureate of Indian birth was recently awarded the prestigious Order of Merit by Britain's King Charles III in recognition of his distinguished service to science? Venki Ramakrishna, 2009 Nobel Chemistry winner. You could. I don't want you to write Nobel Prize winner of in chemistry now. Simple Nobel chemistry. 2009 Nobel chemistry. Now I want you to know a little about him. The most important thing is that he did his BSc. Where look at the education journey, the work journey. In a nutshell, I'll tell you. He, was born in Tamil Nadu, Chidambaram, I think, a place called Chidambaram, Tamil Nadu. He did his BSc from Baroda, Maharaj Sayaji Gaikwad College, I guess. And then he went to the US where he did his PhD. And PhD was in physics. The PhD was in physics. Okay? Then for a couple of years he studied a few things in biology, and then he became a biologist. And in 2009 he won the Nobel Prize in chemistry for his study of ribosomes and all that. Yeah. See, I look at this. BSc, then PhD. PhD in what? Physics. Then studied to be a biologist, and then he won the Nobel Prize in chemistry. Of course, it's molecular biology and everything, but think about it. I mean, look at the work people do, the kind of hard work people do, my friends. Look at the name of the second person, C.N.R. Rao. Chintamani Nagesa Ramachandra Rao. Chintamani Nagesa Ramachandra Rao has practically won every award except the Nobel Prize. Now, this scientist received the 2014 Bharat Ratna as well. 2014 Bharat Ratna. 3 scientists have received the Bharat Ratna. One 1955, I think it was 1955. 1954 C.V. Raman, Chandrasekhara Venkataraman, and 1997, if I'm not wrong, 97, APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam. And 2014, C.N.R. Rao. So much work, such hard work. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. He holds dual citizenship, US and UK. US and UK. Switzerland won their first Billie Jean King Cup title after fair. It's associated with women's tennis. I wanted to write a bit about this. Billie Jean King Cup. Okay. Previously called Fed Cup, between 1995 and 2020. 2020. Now again, reverted to the old name. Now, reverted to old name. What is this championship? You could write this. Highest or number one Premier, otherwise Premier International team competition. Premier International team competition in women's tennis. Dash men's equivalent Davis Cup. Okay, so 2022 winner, 2022 winner Switzerland. Runner up Australia. Host Glasgow in Scotland, England, that is. Not England. Scotland, UK. Okay. Name the 7th edition of the bilateral air exercise between the Indian Air Force and the French Air and Space Force that took place at the Air Force Station in Jodhpur. Garuda. Mitra Shakti, India and Sri Lanka, SL. Garuda Shakti, Indonesia. Simple question actually. Nomadic Elephant, Mongolia. Vajraprahar, US. Name the structured exercise recently conducted by the Indian Navy to evaluate the organizational effectiveness in protecting offshore assets off Mumbai. OFF, off Mumbai, away from Mumbai. Now, what are the assets in the sea? We have Bombay High, or it's called Mumbai High. Bombay High or Mumbai High. This is an oil platform, oil rig owned by the government of India. ONGC's asset. So there is a oil well in the Arabian Sea. The rigging platform is called, I think the rigging platform is called Sagar Samrat. The well is called Bombay High, owned by ONGC. The rig platform is called Sagar Samrat. So in case there is a war or some kind of hostility that breaks out or some kind of an emergency, how well equipped is the Indian Navy to protect these assets? That is what the exercise was about. So they did a great job. That's the idea basically. So how well will we be able to protect our assets that are away from the coast? Which of the following institutions are also called Bretton Woods twins? 1 and 2. That would be World Bank and International Monetary Fund. See, in July 1944, a conference was held, of 43 nations. 43 nations met at a place called Bretton Woods in the American state of New Hampshire. New Hampshire is on the east coast of US, up almost on the border with Canada, above New York. So they met at a place called Bretton Woods, and they decided that they will set up 3 organizations, but only 2 came real. 2 were set up. Okay, one was World Bank, the other is the International Monetary Fund. The primary reasons behind setting up these organizations was to rebuild the shattered economies, the destroyed economies, and infrastructure that that saw massive destruction in the Second World War between 1939 and 45. So these organizations were set up because they were set up in the same. They were the result of a single conference, and they were born in the same conference. They together are called the Bretton Woods twins. Bretton Woods twins. So remember, Bretton Woods twins are 2 because they were born in the same conference. They are called twins, World Bank and IMF. They also proposed the setting up of another organization called the ITO, International Trade Organization. That didn't become real till the setting up of the World Trade Organization on 1st January 1995. Okay, so even the WTO is a part of the World Bank system. It's typically called the UN system or the World Bank system. Okay, that's all from me, Bharat C. Jain. Have a lot of fun, stay curious, and as mentioned, I will discuss Cambodia's terrorism. The terrorism in Cambodia in the 4 years starting 1975. Thank you for being here. Have a lot of fun. Thank you.